Pete, why don't you turn around and let them get a view from there, and
Flight 527 ready for departure.
All right, good morning. Good morning. Randy, if you don't like it, then you don't have to be here, my friend. Just having a little bit of fun, man. That's all. I got an alert that there is a dark web notification for my data. I'm not sure what information that it is. I don't have to check on that. Uh-oh. Dark web. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Yeah, a little bit of downside. It's good, though. A lot of good trading opportunities. That's the best part. Actually, Chef, funny you say that, man. I was thinking about purchasing Starlink. For like if I want to travel, it could be nice. I'm just trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out what you need. I don't know what I would need. That's what I've been trying to figure out. This is it right here, the Roam with Starlink. I don't know if I would need the mobile priority, the 50 gigabytes, possibly. But yeah, that would be pretty sweet. Like if I traveled, I would know that I would actually have internet service somewhere. You know? Like if I go, I don't know, let's say I go, out of the country, or just if I'm traveling, I know that I could set up what I need. I was thinking about it. I just need to learn more about it before I purchase it, and maybe look up some more reviews. It would be cool to have, though, especially for what I do, and it could be a nice. It's a nice little business expense too, right? Put it on the business. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. Boats, residential. Yeah, Starlink. Your IT department uses it, works well. Okay. I used it for 5 months traveling out west. Okay. All right, so some decent reviews there. Indian one, okay. You have it too, Dirt. Okay. All right, so some people seem to have it. Being hacked? I don't know. I mean, I would almost feel like it's harder to hack a Starlink satellite, no? I would assume it's harder to hack a Starlink satellite than it is to hack like a shitty Wi-Fi that you're using. I would assume that's more difficult than you using like a hotel's Wi-Fi, right? At least that's my assumption. I don't know anything about it, but that's my assumption. Ponzi uses it in his car for his OnlyFans channel. Oh, man. That's good. That's good. No, it's not? Okay, Ghost. All right, maybe Ghost knows better than me. Oh, man. I don't know. Who knows? We're just making up. I'm just pulling shit out my ass now. Let's stick to the charts, huh? That's something I could tell you. I could tell you about the charts. I could tell you about technical levels. That I could tell you. All right? That's definitely something I could tell you. So let's stick to that. So welcome back, guys. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you guys had a good day yesterday. Nice day for me yesterday, about 1,300. Nice downside. That Square trade, holy hell. If you guys were here in the live stream, we talked about Square. Just a little thought about some of those small cap downside. And, man, did they get crushed. So Square, awesome. Still going lower today, Square. Some of these small caps, worth watching, man. You had a big rally on small caps. Small caps they're not strong, right? It's not, when small caps rally straight to the upside, they will come right back to the downside. It's not like there are very confident investors in some of these names. So, keep an eye on some of these high-flying small caps. Carvana dropped huge and probably could drop more, right? Some of these really, I don't want to call them shitty because I don't want to insult anyone, but they're not great companies, right? And so when they go straight up, they will go straight down. There's opportunity here. If the market stays weak, there's definitely opportunity. So keep an eye on some of those. Square, Roku, Carvana, PayPal. Those are the ones that go on the top of my head, but there's plenty more to be watching. Just keep an eye on that. So that was really nice yesterday. Netflix was a nice idea. That worked out beautifully. What else? The ES, that 4,800. Remember we talked about 4,800? 4,800 bounce and fade, and that was the perfect entry yesterday. The short entry at 4,800 after the little afternoon bounce was perfection. So that was really nice on the technicals there yesterday on the ES. And let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it. Let's just jump right into it. We're going to do it live. Fuck it. We're doing it live. All right, here we go. All right, economic calendar. What do we got today? What do we got? Also, just heads up, fully transparency. I deposited another $10,000 in my account today, so my account size will be bigger when you see the next update. So now another 10K. I'm getting the account up to 30,000. I don't know. I just say that. I don't care to say it. I'm just letting you know. That is just full transparency. So, yeah. Here we go. Charts. And here is your economic calendar. Yesterday we had manufacturing PMI, construction spending. I did not see any effect on that. That was pretty much just the market moving, and the market was already deciding to go lower. So this didn't really have any effect yesterday. Today, maybe a little bit more, right? Maybe a little bit more of an effect. You guys can see here, 10 o'clock, we have ISM manufacturing PMI. We have JOLTS at 10 o'clock as well. Keep an eye on that, right? Keep an eye on that. And then 2 o'clock today, FOMC minutes, okay? FOMC minutes, 2 o'clock. Keep an eye on that. That's probably your biggest event of the day. That's probably your biggest economic event of the day, 2 o'clock today. I don't expect there to be anything major, unless there is some major change in the way they are talking, in what they plan to do in the future. This is not Jerome Powell speaking live. This is just a press conference of their last meeting. If anything drastically changed, then maybe there is some large move, but I would not expect that, at least not for now. So we'll see. 2 o'clock. I will not be trading at 2 o'clock. I can tell you that 100%. But I'll sort of monitor it at the time, see what happens, right? But I have no interest in being at my computer at 2 o'clock. So 10 o'clock today, about 30 minutes after open, you're going to get a little bit of volatility here. Just make sure you're aware of that, okay? That's that. How'd you guys like the? I got to figure out how I'm gonna do the daily review. I don't know if I want to swarm the channel with daily reviews because I still want to make some more structured content. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna go about this. If you guys have any recommendations, anything like that, I'm all ears. I'm considering making it a live stream, so I would be live 8 o'clock and then live again around maybe 11:30, 12 after my trading day. So it'd be like 2 live streams, because live streams are really easy. I don't have to prep for them. I don't have to do any type of editing, right? It's just live, and it makes it quite easy. Once it's done, which I might end up doing because I can make it a live stream. I can make the trade review a live stream, and then I could just post it, and it'll just post on YouTube after, right? That's probably what I'll end up doing. I might do that for like the first 3 months, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You didn't need it? Nice. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, the sound was off, Chef. I know. It was the wrong mic. I was using the wrong mic. Yeah, could GT, definitely. I just don't want to swarm the channel with just trade reviews. I want to still and I'm not going to make 2 videos a day, man. That's way too much. So we'll see. I'm trying to think through it. I don't know. It'll take some time to get it right, but yeah. I need it. Recording higher. Yeah, it could be a new account. Possibly. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. All right, let's get started. So, NASDAQ futures. So yesterday, let's where do we want to start here? Do we want to start on the demands, or do we want to start on what happened yesterday? Let's start with the demands below, and then we will jump into sort of what happened intraday yesterday. So the big one that I'm watching, and I know this is a little bit messy, but these levels have to be on this chart. I'm going to delete some of the lower levels, and we'll review those when it actually comes into that. But the main one that I want to point out here, guys, the main level that I want to point out here is this. This level right here. This white level, this white square, rectangle that I just put on the screen. That is 16,460. Now, the reason I have that on my screen, 16,460, is it is the previous all-time high on the NASDAQ futures, okay? So if we look at this daily chart, all right, let's just quickly do that, okay? Let's do this, and let's look at this chart. Let's look at this chart pretty much naked. And the level that I have, that 16,460, is the previous all-time high, which is right here, right? And so when you look at this daily chart, right, this is potentially still, when you zoom out, it is still potentially, right, nothing but a pullback. We need to make sure we keep that in mind, right? You can't get too crazy here. Now, great downside yesterday, fantastic downside, beautiful, right? Trading opportunities everywhere, love it. That's what I want to see, right? I want to make money no matter what direction it is. If it's juicy, it's juicy, and we trade it. But we need to always recap and understand where the market is after a big move. So this level right here needs to be on your charts, right? You cannot lose track of the previous all-time high on this NASDAQ futures contract. This is the March contract. I believe that's the previous all-time high. Let me just double check that before someone gets mad. No, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Well, that's the weekly. So sometimes the weekly messes up. I'm just going to call it a major level because I'm not too sure whether that's the previous all-time high or not. If I go to the daily, no, it's not. Okay, I take it all back. Everything I just said, I take it back. Okay, take it back. I always get messed up by not looking further out. That's not the previous all-time high. Don't listen to what I just said. It's the previous major pivot high. Okay, this right here. This high. Okay, I'm not referring to this high. I apologize. I take it back. Not the previous all-time high. It is the previous pivot high right here from back in June and July. Okay, July right here. See this? This is the high I'm talking about. It's the previous high, the previous major pivot high on the daily chart. Okay, that is something to be watching, right? That is something to be paying attention to here. When we look at this daily chart, right, you can see right here, you can see right here, right? And so just a little bit of caution, right, if we move lower into that level. If we move lower into that level, we have to be a little bit of cautious. We have to be a little bit cautious of some potential demand stepping up, okay? So that's where we're going to start today. We're going to start right there. We're going to start and just know that we have a pretty major demand level below to be watching on the NASDAQ futures. I would make sure to have that on your charts, right? Now, I am not saying that you're going to start longing off this level, right? That's not what I'm saying here because the market is very weak, right? There's a little bit of downside coming in. You're not going to just start grabbing calls and hoping that this level holds. But you also need to just be aware. You just need to be aware of it. You need to know that if we start to trade into that level, there could be some hold going on, all right? So that's that. That's the first thing I want to point out today, and that is why this level is on my screen, because it is something you definitely want to be watching. All right, it's definitely something that you want to be watching. Okay, so let's zoom in. Hourly chart. Let's go right here. And let me change this because this is not the previous all-time high. Let me make sure I'm just going to say previous major high. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, previous major high right there. So that's number one. Okay. Number two is FOMC lows right there. FOMC lows. That is 16,000. The exact low of that FOMC day back on Wednesday. This is Wednesday, December 13th. The low of that day was 16,576. Okay. So that is your next demand to be paying attention to. 15,000 or 16,576. That is FOMC lows. So I'm actually going to write that out. FOMC lows. Okay, so that's the next big, pretty major level there to be watching. So you have the previous major highs, and you have FOMC lows that are coming in here relatively soon. FOMC lows here, right? And then those previous major highs right here. So those levels need to be paid attention to for some type of a, short-term demand hold. So if you're trying to short into these levels, it could get a little bit tough, right? And you need to be paying attention to that. That seems to be a level that's attempting to try to maintain generally here this morning. So 16,575, 576 FOMC lows back from December 13th. Right here is that previous major pivot high, 16,460. Now, if we are to drop the FOMC lows here, all right, if we drop those lows, this is pretty juicy right here, right? Below that FOMC low, right here, below this low right here, there's not much support until that major pivot high. So this could be a nice short opportunity in this area, right? This could be a nice short opportunity under this FOMC low down towards that previous major high at that 16,460, right? So that's very big. That's something to be paying attention to. Now, the level that held yesterday, let me zoom in here. The level that held yesterday, right here, this level where we wicked, we had that aggressive wick bounce off of, pretty much near close yesterday, that was the Thursday low post FOMC. Okay, so that is right here. You have that FOMC low here, okay? And then you have that Thursday low That is the day after FOMC. That is at 16,625. That is where we held yesterday. Okay? So some pretty important zones to be watching below, right? I am not fond of just shorting into these demands. And that is why, again, yesterday we talked about the bounces and the fades, right? And that is exactly what we got. We got that beautiful 4,800 bounce yesterday on the ES and a beautiful fade. There's going to be short-term demand bounces in this area, even if the market continues lower, right? There will be short-term demand bounces that could take you out of trades if you are shorting at the lows, right? There's no business shorting at lows. Let the market bounce and let it fade, right? You want to try to nail those shorts at the higher supply levels to get that good risk to reward, right? Even if you're bearish, that's what you still want to be looking for. So just a little bit of caution shorting at the Thursday low here, a little bit of caution shorting at that FOMC low here, right? This area needs to be a little bit on watch today, right? This could be one of those short-term demand bounces, right? That could get you another short entry up at some of these supply levels, right? So that's my first thing to be watching today. A little bit cautious shorting in that 16,625 Thursday low and that FOMC low around 16,575, okay? That's my first watch. Now, it is a very clear day for a bounce and rejection as of right now. The bounce and rejection, if it comes in, could be extremely clear. If we get a bounce up into that 20 SMA, right, or we get a bounce up into that 16,760, which is this low and these lows, this could be the beautiful fade to be looking for today, right here. That would be the fade that I would be all eyes on today. If we can bounce today towards that 20 SMA, towards that 16,760, towards that previous Wednesday low. Now remember, what is that? Remember that Wednesday? Remember the panic Wednesday? The day that the world was ending, right? This day right here, remember that? That was a very aggressive downside move. Where did that hold? That held right here, right? At 16,760. And so if we pop into that level today, that could be a fantastic level to watch for a fade. So that would be my AAA plus short setup is at 16,760 today. Either that or close to that 20 SMA as we get near it right there. That 20 SMA, that blue line, that would be the other level that I would look for that fade to come in. So as of right now, that's sort of how I'm looking at this market. I'm going to go down to the 30-minute chart, and we're going to zoom into some short-term price action here. That 16,760 is this right here, and that's near that 20 SMA. So this whole area right here is where I would be looking for that bounce today and then the look to see if that fade comes in, okay? Near this 20 SMA, which rejected here in the pre-market, and this 16,760 zone that we can see is that previous low from that hourly chart. Let me zoom in again. The other level, right, that rejected very clearly yesterday is right here. It's that previous high, that previous double top high at that 16.9, right? If you guys remember that, right here, 16.9, 16.9, right? Remember that little double top high and this low right here. Let's zoom into that level here, right? You can see right here, this rejection that came in yesterday, pretty much early morning, mid-afternoon. You can see right here. Look at this bounce. Actually, that was right at the open. Oh, shit. So right there, right? That was pretty much perfection right there. And I actually sort of want to move this. Do I want to move this? No, I'm going to leave this here. But I'm also going to be monitoring. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I want that. I want both these levels actually. So I'll just keep an eye on that one. All right, but this 16 right here, this 16,890, 16.9, this zone right here that rejected pretty much at open yesterday, right? Where does that come from? Where did we reject at open yesterday? That is these previous lows, right? Right there. Let me get more time. I love when TOS doesn't let me zoom in, man. I love it. So we rejected at open right here. There, 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 and there. Boom, right? Beautiful rejection right at the open, right off this high, these lows, and yesterday we bounced and rejected that level and continued lower. Okay, so that is very, very important. This level is going to be something to be keeping your eyes out for. If we cannot get back over that level, weakness will stay in. Okay, now, let me extend this to the left. This is our bounce level to watch for rejections. You can see right here, and all right here from yesterday. So what I'm looking for today, once again, I'll reiterate what I'm looking for. Bounce, 16,760, right? And potential fade. Okay? That's number one. If we get higher than that, I will watch this 16.8 zone. That is this previous low right here, and that little hold from yesterday in the pre-market, right? The hold that we had early morning yesterday, let me zoom in here. This little hold that we saw right here yesterday, this little hold right here, right? That comes off this low, and you can see that that low held temporarily. So if we move higher, right? If we move higher, I'll watch that 760. I'll watch that 815 for those potential fades and rejections. If we get above all that, we're back into yesterday's highs, and we'll watch that 890 again. Okay? But again, I want the fades after the dead cat bounces for short entries. I don't want to be shorting at the yesterday's lows. I don't want to be shorting at FOMC lows, and I definitely don't want to short into that previous high, that previous major pivot high. Okay? So that's my watch today. Now, the other thing that could happen, right? And I'll just say if it gets really aggressive out there, if we don't get this bounce and fade, and we don't get this bounce and fade, if we don't even have the opportunity to fade the 20 SMA or fade this 760 level, if we don't even get that bounce and things just stay really weak, you could attempt the rejection of previous day lows, right? You could attempt the rejection of previous day lows. It is possible. If things are really weak and you just see some nasty rejections under previous day lows, that could be something to be monitoring. Okay? Now, the problem I have with that trade today, the problem I have with shorting under the previous day lows today is that you have the FOMC lows right below it, about 50 points lower. Okay? Just about 50 points lower, you have the FOMC lows. So if you do take a short under previous day lows, it's probably a short-term trade and probably going to see a little bit of bounce risk around that FOMC low here, around 16,575. Okay? Now, if you just get under that FOMC low and you start to see this, then yeah, it's going to move lower, right? We're moving lower. We're moving lower, right? If you break under that FOMC low and you start to see that level turn into a rejection today at 16,575, you're moving lower. All right? So that's that. That's the NASDAQ. 16,625, previous day low, FOMC low, and then you have that previous 16,760 level to watch for rejections and that 20 SMA. All right? Let's move on. QQQ, 400. All right? QQQ, 400. Let's zoom in here on the hourly. You guys can see right here, you have that 400 level, and you have, that's that Thursday low, right? And then you have your FOMC low at that 390, 399, 398.84. So very similar to the NASDAQ here, right? You have that Thursday low around 400 and that previous day low around 400. That's a key demand to watch. And then you have that FOMC low at 398.85, 399. Okay, so 399 to 400, all right? 399 to 400 might be a little bit of a tough spot to short the market, right? It might be a little bit of a tough spot to short the market because you have the Thursday low and the FOMC low right in this zone. Now, If you break under that level, right? If you break under that FOMC low, you guys can see the juice that could be squeezed, right? This is not going to hold up the market. So if you drop that FOMC low here in the near future, you have some juice below, right? You have juice down into this 395 area. So this could be a very nice short opportunity all in this area, right? But that is only if you drop the FOMC lows, right? And that's the if that you need to be cautious of before trying to short into this area, right? If you try to short into this area, there is a possibility of that little demand bounce to take you out of short-term puts. So be careful of that 400, 399 area today. Where is the perfect short entry in my eyes? You guys can probably see what I'm about to say, man. It is as clean as it's going to get here. Right here, right? You get that bounce into that 403. You start to see the rejections here. This could be the beautiful fade spot. This is a previous low here. That's that Wednesday low, that big drop at 403. You can see that we rejected that 403 all here after hours, right? 403 major rejection stepping in. So if you get that bounce again today, watch the 403 level as a potential fade spot. Okay? If you get above 403, then you're going to move into that 405. All right? That'll be your next level to watch for that fade, 405. All right? So 403, 405, and then that 399, 400 area, that's what I would be watching on the QQQ. Let's go to the ES. And what happened yesterday on the ES, that is just textbook stuff, man. It's textbook stuff. I hope someone out there caught it. It's just textbook break and retest. It's textbook supply levels. It really just doesn't get any prettier than this. This is a previous rejection, a previous support, a previous rejection, a previous support, a previous day low, and this is a perfect break, bounce, and beautiful late day fade off that 4,800 level. This was a sexy short entry at 4,800. Really nice. Really, really nice. And that was right here, right? I can show you what this looked like at the time. So if I do this, I'm going to show you something real quick. 1 second. One second. I'm getting there. While we have a second, press the like button before I have to run an ad. Here it is, right? This is what it was looking like intraday yesterday, okay? So let me zoom in here. Right here, around that 1243, right? You guys can see right here. This was the ES yesterday. You moved lower. You held some demand. You pushed back to the upside. You are pushing back right into 4,800, okay? This is 4,800, previous day low. And yesterday, you were pushing right back into it, right? And so this was exactly what we talked about yesterday. Here comes your 4,800 retest. And so that is just, right, that's just intraday level analysis. And just knowing what your levels are, understanding that you're moving into a pretty major previous low, to previous day low, and you guys can see right there, boom, boom, beautiful. All right, so that is very clear level to be watching moving forward, right? So if you see any bounces into 4,800, that is your rejection level. That is the level you are looking to see if the market stays below. If the market stays below 4,800, if you see another fade off this level today, it's going to remain weak. Now, here's my concern today, okay? And this is what I think will get some people caught up, right? Some people that need to look at both sides, right? We need to make sure we're aware of the levels on the charts here today, because the ES has some very important demands below. One, two, right? and you're moving towards that right now. So I know the downside has looked very aggressive and very weak, right? I know that the downside has looked very juicy and it's very nasty, right? Yesterday was nasty and it was really nice to trade that downside. But what happened the last time we had the juice into demand? Okay? And I'm not saying that I'm telling you what's going to happen here today, but as a trader, this has to be in your mind. You cannot just ignore this because you think the market should move lower. All right? The last time the market tanked and had aggressive downside into this zone, what were the following days, right? The following days were just sort of grinds back to the upside, okay? And you find yourself at the same spot today. You find yourself at the same spot today. You find yourself near the 4760 and 4750 demand, okay? And you find yourself at the 20 SMA. So just be a little bit aware of this. If you're going to start shorting this ES today, right, and you start trying to take some SPX puts, right, and you're thinking, okay, here we go, right, let's drop this baby. Please just be aware that there is demand down here, and this could get a little bit, I would assume that this area here starts to get very sort of messy, right? The trading in this zone is going to be very messy. It's going to have a lot of wicks, a lot of dancing, right? A lot of fake outs, little candles down, straight back up, right? A lot of that action is going to be happening in this zone. This is not going to be an easy zone to trade in down here at 4750, 4760. So pay attention to that. Now, if you break that zone, right, if there's something really clean under that zone, this is where it gets juicy, right? Because look at this. See that? That's where it gets juicy. If you get under that 4750, it gets juicy in here because that is straight up, right? And if we go straight up, we can go straight down. All right, so 4750 is really that last level of defense. 4750, 4760. Could there be a demand bounce off this today? Absolutely. Absolutely. Could that trade us back into that 4,800 supply that we could then look to fade, right? Something like this. Could we potentially fade a 4,800 bounce here? Absolutely. All right, so not in love with the shorts down here at the 4760, 4750. I'm not in love with shorts in this zone, right? I like shorts here or I like shorts under 4750. Okay, those are my two short spots. Would I long this, Tommy? I don't think so. Could there be a nice long here, right? Could there be a nice long here? Yes, very potential. Do I want to do that? Do I really care to be the first one? Not really, man. I really don't care to be the one that catches this long because I would be more interested in this short personally. Knowing that the market's been sort of moving lower, I would rather look for the bounce and rejection at 4,800. See this? Look at this, right? What happened here? This was a Wednesday into a Thursday. This was Wednesday straight down into demand. Who keeps blowing up my Discord, man? This was a straight down move into that demand. The next day, the following day, we had a bounce into 4,800, right? And look at that fade. This was a great trade the following day. So if we copy that price action today, right? If we see this, and then we can look for that fade here, that could be really nice, okay? That could be really nice. All right, so 4,800, 4,750, 4,760. That's it. Let's move on. SPY. 470, that's that same demand area, right? That's that same demand area. You can see right here that 470 to 468.50 is that demand area that you need to be aware of if we move lower, okay? So if you move lower into 470, possible little demand bounce. If you move lower into that 468.50, possible little dance around this area, right? This is a tough area. I would want to see to really get aggressive to the short side at this point. If you do not get a fade, right? If you do not get a fade somewhere, I would want to see a break and hold under the 20 SMA and under this low and under this low, right? If you get that, right? If you get that 468.50 break and hold below, under the 20 SMA, under this low right here, and under these lows right here, if you get that, then you get the juice, right? Then you get the juice right here. You get the juice into 464. But it's not until then, right, that you could get a little bit of bounce, right? You could get a little bit of bounce in this area. So be careful of that. Where would I love to short the market today? I mean, look at how perfect this is, guys. This is a previous day low that turned into a perfect rejection on the SPY yesterday. If we get a bounce off this level today, I would absolutely look for the fade around that 473.50. Okay? 473.50, 470, 468. You got the 20 SMA down here to be careful of as well. All right, let's continue. If you guys could, before I continue, we got 1,900 people here, 800 likes. If you guys could smash that like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We do this every single day starting at 8 a.m. Technical levels on the futures, on individual stocks, preparing you for the market open, all for free. All for 100% free. And all I ask is for you to press the like button. All right. Here we go. Tesla. So, interesting day on Tesla, right? Tesla just does not follow the market lately. It does a little bit, but yesterday was another really good example of just a shit show, right? And so this is some dangerous stuff, right? Tesla had no follow through with the market. It held that demand low very aggressively that we talked about, that 244. It held that low very aggressive, bounced back to the upside. Beautiful shorts at the 251.50. But just overall, a shit show of a day on Tesla yesterday. So be careful, right? Tesla is, she's a wild card sometimes. And you guys saw me sort of get hit on Tesla. I took a nice little loss there. And so, you know, it is what it is, right? That's Tesla. Tesla can be a tough trade. And so we have that demand at that 244, right? That demand is still there. That 244 demand held yesterday, and it's trying to hold again today. And so just be aware of that, right? If you hold that 244, Tesla could battle here, right? Just be aware of that. So 244, it's a big demand zone from, you know, a couple weeks ago and in the past as well, that 244 level. All right. Now, some very clear rejection spots to be trading on Tesla here, right? Some pretty clear rejection spots that you can look for on the intraday. So the first one I would look for is this rejection right here at 248, 247.50, right? And then, of course, I would be watching the 251, 251.50, right? So if you get that bounce today, I'd look for this potential fade. If you get over that, I'd look for this potential fade, right? Here and here are those two rejection spots that I would look for. But that does not mean you short here. That does not mean you short here. You don't take shorts here, here, random spots all over the place. You short here or here, right? That's it. You got to wait for the confirmation, wait for your levels, right? So if I'm going to play Tesla today, I'll either look for this low from Friday to turn into a rejection, or I'll look for yesterday's supply to turn into rejections again, right? That's it, right? Or the other option is to get a very weak move under this low, right, and see that continuation. If Tesla cracks this 244 low and starts to get moving, that could be your other watch. NVIDIA. 1 hour chart, 472 is your demand to watch today. Okay, it's right here. 472, little 472 action. That's something I'd be watching today. 472, some possible demand in that area to be watching. So if you get a bounce off this 472 today, I would love to watch for this. Rejections, previous lows, yesterday's rejections, 484 could be the nice spot to look for a fade today. 484 or 489. So if we get any bounces on NVIDIA today, I would be eyeing this zone and I would be eyeing this zone. These are the two zones that I'd be looking on NVIDIA for that potential bounce and fade. Here or here, okay? If we drop the 472 and we turn that into rejections, then you likely will see more downside, right? If you just get that weak move under the demand and you just reject it, then you'll probably see some more downside. So you can see right here on the 1 hour chart, you have the previous high, the previous high, the previous low, some previous highs right there. If you break under that 472, maybe you watch that 50 SMA right there. Or, right, if it gets through that 50 SMA, you come down into these demand lows right here. See that? That 464. Okay? All right. 472, 464. And if you bounce, watch that 20 SMA rejection, that 484 supply. All right? Continue. AMD. AMD. Nice 140 rejection on AMD yesterday, man. Look at this. Nice little 140 rejection. You had a little bit of a fake out on top of it, right? But ultimately rejecting that 140, that was a very nice level right there. Very nice rejection right there. If we go to the hourly chart, right, we can see AMD gave up pretty much all that upside move. And so now we are sitting at this 136 demand right there. That 136 demand to be watching. That's also the 20 SMA. So 136 is your demand today on AMD. If you drop 136, you come down into this low or this previous high, 134.50. All right, so maybe some room between 136 and 134.50. Maybe it's pretty small, but there might be some room in there to potentially play short under 136. What would I prefer to see? All right, it's very clear. What would I prefer to see today for a very clear entry, very clear risk reward, right? Boom, boom, right? 140 supply, get back up into that 140, see if that rejects, right? I would never, ever be upset about losing off a potential 140 supply rejection. How could you be upset if you see a little bounce, right? You start seeing some weakness here, right? You take some shorts here. Beautiful entry point. Nothing wrong with that entry point ever, right? That's a fantastic rejection, 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 right? How could you? That's just a trade you have to take. In my mind, that's how I think, right? If it's a risk-reward trade, if it makes sense, the analysis makes sense, I take the trade. I don't care what happens, right? If AMD starts to reject here and then just sort of shoots up, and I take a loss there, that is a trading loss that you have to take and you have to accept. There is absolutely nothing wrong, right, with taking that kind of loss. If you see a bounce today on AMD and it starts to reject near that 140, I will be watching that like a hawk, right? And I don't care if that turns into a loss because that is a valid trade. That's a trade that you have to take in my eyes. Risk reward is there. So that is something that I would be watching. Besides that, maybe, right? Maybe if you just drop this level right here, if you just see a drop under 134.50, then you can get that further downside into that 132, right? But we'll see if that happens today. I would want the bounce into that 140. All right, let's continue. Let me go through the charts that I wanted to AMD. Okay, let's go Microsoft. So Microsoft, interesting, right? You can see that uptrend, big crack, nice break under that that uptrend. Let's go out to the 4-hour chart, right? And let's make sure we understand what's going on here. So you had that little grind higher, you had the big downside move, right? That's that. Now, where are you? You're at the major demand again, right? And so this is not a good short. I don't care what anyone says, right? That is not a good short as of right now. The good short is where? At the supply highs, right? You do not short at demand lows. So if you caught Microsoft downside yesterday, you are on the right side, right? That is a short, and again, a beautiful short at supply highs. You do not now look to short at the level that held multiple weeks at demand lows, right? So I don't love this trade today. Right? I don't love this trade today. I don't care, right? If Microsoft starts to go down here, I would never be part of that trade, right? Because it's just a sweaty trade, All right, you're shorting through demands. And so I don't like taking part of that. But what I would look for is that bounce into maybe that 371 area, which rejected yesterday. I'll go into that in a second. Or I doubt that it's going to get back up here. But if you find Microsoft back up here again, then maybe there's a potential short again. But if we go to the 15-minute chart, right, this is as textbook as it gets here, right? Look at this. So if you see this today, you know what to do, right? If you see this today around that 371, you know what to do, right? You have this previous double top high, which rejected very clearly. If you start to see this action again, watch for that short entry, all right? 371. Oh, yeah, let's go to the Russell real quick. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Oh, man. Yeah, we took those IWM puts yesterday. That was sick, man. That was sick. Look at that. Yeah, just a rejection of the previous lows, right? Previous sort of low here from Friday. Nice rejection. Really nice stuff there yesterday. Really nice stuff. All right. Amazon. 1 hour chart. Very clear channel. I do not like Amazon today unless it breaks out of this channel. Do not short into these highs and do not long into this rejection point. 150 to around 148.50, right? That's a very tight range. You can see you have these previous highs, which are holding from yesterday, and you have the previous highs here that rejected yesterday around 150, okay? And so what I would look for today, right, you got to get a break to either side, right? You got to get a break above 150 or you have to get a break below 148. Right? 150, 148. You need to get a move. Whoops. You need to get a move outside of this channel for actual trading. Do not trade in this channel today. This is way too tight, and it's going to get really messy in there. Let's go Meta, Square, Coin, and Apple. No, we got more. We got to go. We got to go quick. Speed round. Meta. Speed round. Lock it in. All right. Meta. Right here. Clear. 347. 347. 347. Clear as day. Mario. Gifted 5 subs. Thank you, Mario. Appreciate you, brother. GG in the chat. So 347. Very clear rejections on Meta. So if you get another bounce into 347, watch for that fade. Demand is pretty strong down here. 20 SMA. Be careful shorting into this 20 SMA. Be careful shorting into that 338. 338, 340 demand. Okay? 20 SMA. Very nice potential fade opportunity at 347. Maybe even 352. We got to go Netflix, right? Because Netflix we talked about yesterday, and man, oh man, was that a beauty. Beautiful fade on Netflix. That break of that 482 level was sexy. Sexy, right? We had that 482 break right here, the break of these highs, and that thing just flushed. And so that was really clean. If we go to that 1 hour chart, here's what I'm watching on Netflix today. You have this previous high right here around this 470, and you have these demand lows right here around that 460. So you have a little bit of a 10-point range here between 460 and 470. Be careful in that range, right? That's not great. You want to get out of this range to trade Netflix. So either above 470 or below 460. Be careful in that 10-point range on Netflix. Let's go Square real quick just to show off how absolutely sexual this was. Man, we talked about Square yesterday. We hit some shorts on this thing yesterday. Oh, boy, was that a beauty. And look at this thing go. It's down another $4 in the pre-market. Square is likely moving into this low at 66, right? That's likely where Square moves down into at 66. But what I would look for today is a bounce and rejection at 70. A bounce and rejection at 70 would be the level to watch. You do not get Discord access with gifted subs, no. Square, and let's go Coinbase and then Apple. And we're out of here. Coinbase and Apple, and we're out of here. All right. So 1 hour chart here. Coinbase. What would I look for today? Very clear. Very, very clear. 148. Look at that. Look at that triple top high at 148. 1, 2, 3, right? Turned into a low. If you see 148 turn into rejections today, more downside on coin. Okay? 148 coin. Watch for 142 demand. 148 coin, possible supply. If you get above that level, you're moving up to 155. So 148, 155, 142. Last one, last but not least, good old Apple. 4 hour chart. Demand is down here at 182. Supply is up here at 188. And this is a zone that you should not be involved in trading Apple, in my opinion. Not in the middle of this channel. So what I would look for is this, right? And I would be careful shorting here. This is 182 and the 100 SMA. So be careful of demand there. And this is a potential bounce and fade at that 188 previous low. Okay? Let's get a quick look at the NQ. NQ is attempting to hold that FOMC low, that Thursday low. ES trying to hold that previous day low, and you're going to have to be careful of shorts in this area. Be careful of shorts near that 20 SMA. Be careful of shorts in that 47.50, 47.60. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys enjoyed the content today, enjoy your ads. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you find value from the morning live streams. I hope you take it seriously. I hope you use these levels and trade off them because they are clean, man. There was a lot of good examples of what we talked about yesterday, setting up beautiful trades. So congratulations. If you caught something yesterday, well done. Do it again today. Day two of 2024. Stay disciplined. Stay smart. Don't do stupid shit. Don't swing trade your whole portfolio. Don't take position sizes that you're sweating at the desk. Take comfortable trades. Educate yourself. Get your repetitions in. Do the right thing. Stop worrying about what other people are making. Stay in your own lane. Do the right thing. Okay? Good luck. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.